Alright, what's up guys? So, IGN has uploaded the review for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I'm buying this game at the end of the week. I'm like, nah, bruh. With the Miles Morales one, that one was freaking amazing, and I'm like, nah, I already know that this one's gonna be good. Just based off the little content that I've seen, I was like, nope, I'm going out and I'm making sure of it that yeah, I go out and I get this game. So. But yeah, guys, if you haven't, I'm just curious to see what IGN is gonna say. Regardless of whether they say the game is good or bad, I know I'm gonna buy it just to see for myself. So make sure you guys, if you haven't, go subscribe to IGN. And in that being said,
hey man, glad you could make it.
With Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Insomniac has the unenviable task of following up two riveting superhero fantasies full of excitement and heart. While that may sound like a good problem to have, the question becomes, where do you go from there? Well, its answer is to double down. Double down on Spider-Man, double down on the size of the map, double down on explosive action sequences.
the map does look slightly
The
different.
studio has crafted another consistently exciting rollercoaster ride and the best story of the series yet. But stand the original alongside the sequel in other ways, and it can look a bit like two Spider-Man games pointing at each other. The excellent combat hasn't gotten old, but it is largely the same fun as before.
I wonder if they should recreate that meme in the game, or just like have it just thrown in there just because.
And despite that larger map, most of the open world activities found within it are in desperate need of evolution. The result is a blockbuster in the most modern sense of the word. Undeniably thrilling for long stretches, but by the numbers for others. Despite a couple of new tricks up its sleeve, Spider-Man 2's combat is very familiar.
Dang.
It doesn't have that new suit smell anymore, but it still feels incredibly comfy to slip back into. The rhythm of precision dodges, the new perfect parries, so you're not only swerving and striking now, and acrobatic finishes are hugely satisfying, as is chasing high hit combos to keep the fight as stylish as possible.
For those that haven't played the last two, like Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, the fighting combat in both games, it's amazing. Like I don't know, because some of you guys might just only have an Xbox, but if you do decide to ever get a gaming PC or PlayStation 5, I prefer a PlayStation 5 because it would seem more optimized on there since it's designed for that console. But yeah, I definitely recommend getting both Spider-Man games.
The movement is smooth and the hits are crunching, like some sort of peanut butter hybrid that every one of your foes is allergic to. Power and elegance are brought together in a brick-to-the-face ballet as enemies are thrown around like dolls, juggled in the air, slammed across concrete floors, and slung into each other like body-armoured bowling pins. But, naturally, never killed. Every bone in their body may be broken.
No, there were some times when the last Marvel Spider-Man, yeah, Miles Morales, where I ain't hear no web thing. I listened. I made sure of it. When I swung one of them guys off the buildings, I'll be listening. I'm like, I don't hear no web. I look, they're gone, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, they didn't make it.
And every organ punctured.
Somebody has to die in this game. One of these guys. This guy, no, whoever this guy is right here, no, he's gone. He's not here with us no more.
Crimes again. Overall, there's slightly less emphasis on stealth encounters this time around than in either Spider-Man or Miles Morales. As someone who found the stealth action of the previous games a little simplistic and routine, this new, louder approach is welcome. Naturally, there are some missions where Miles or Peter have to slink across ceilings and take out thugs who never look up, but Spider-Man 2 is much more eager for you to get into the action.
They really
with
don't
many abilities designed to let you group up enemies and then deal big damage to all of them at once, rather than spreading them out to pit them off one by one. But once Parker dons the symbiote suit already shown off in trailers, the gooey, angry powers that come with it make a big impact, adding more of a brawler nature to fights and giving Peter a set of tools to match Miles' satisfying electric abilities. One area the Insomniac has made improvements in is that Spider-Man 2 offers significantly more in the way of enemy variety, so you'll no longer be battering the same 5 balaclava bullies with baseball bats. Certain enemies are weak to different types of abilities, such as electric or symbiote attacks, which also adds an enjoyable enjoyable extra wrinkle to fights. It's by no means revolutionary stuff, but a welcome added level of complexity that makes you consider which powers, or even which Spider-Man, are best for the job. That's not to say there aren't benefits to taking a sneaky route though. There are many perch takedown possibilities offered, and new toys to play with too, such as the web line, which allows you to create your own high wires over
I
your
thought they had
enemies
that
to prey on
before.
them from above. It's a fun tool that allows you to reshape the tightly designed arenas into a battlefield.
Maybe I'm just hallucinating. I don't think not the Miles Morales one, but I thought the first one. I gotta go back and play the first one because I always go back and play the Miles Morales one. But yeah, I gotta see. I feel like,
and in doing so, redecorate the room with web-wrapped people pinatas. On the topic of covert ops,
maybe
the
not.
playable MJ
Maybe I'm thinking
sequences
something
from
else.
the original Return. And while they are more involved this time around and serve the story well, they never add up to more than simple stealth missions or splashes of basic third-person shooting. She's certainly not
Mary Jane,
sidelined,
she even
but
going
it does
out.
feel like
Look,
a
she
little
getting
more
shot
could have
at.
been
It's
done
like
to make her gameplay sections a bit more exciting. Combat aside, our Spider-Men can now move around their friendly neighborhoods in more stylish ways than ever. The new web wings are undoubtedly a standout. Like Batman before him, Spider-Man can now glide and soar with ease through the city. And web swinging is as gratifying as you remember, and still one of the best ways to get around any open world.
oh yeah.
The story swings just as elegantly between upbeat hijinks and solemn moments of reflection. It's undeniably a fun time to don the suit and enter a Kratos-like rage mode where you push in both thumbsticks and start one-hitting everything in your path.
Dang.
But the writers never once forget to take their eyes off the humanity inside these superhumans. The same can be said for both its heroes and villains, as Spider-Man 2 tackles the reasoning behind each character's actions and the good that can hide in the shadows of evil. Avoiding spoilers, the basic premise revolves around Kraven the Hunter, who is, well, craving a hunt. For those uninitiated in the character, he's essentially the Predator, an apex hunter blessed with super strength who has chosen New York as his next hunting ground.
The great hunt begins.
It's a great starting point that sends the city's hero and villain dynamic into flux as he sets his sights on the biggest prey possible. There are also smaller stories at play though, ones that may seem less important when compared to the citywide chaos, but feel like potential world enders to those who inhabit it. Both Spider-Men tackle the most extreme examples of trying to manage a work-life balance
busting in a
you
classroom
could
like
imagine,
that.
exploring a range of personal issues including strange relationships and loss that plague us as humans, no matter how superpowered we may feel. It's the best written story in the series yet, if still a little cheesy at times, with performances worthy of the script. It's a real triumph that manages to cover such a wide spectrum of themes without suffering from tonal whiplash.
You made it.
I thought you said this was a startup.
Primarily a Peter Parker story, Spider-Man 2 explores his relationship with MJ and the reintroduction of childhood best friend Harry Osborn into his life. It's always compelling to watch him contend with which pieces of the past to leave behind and what future self he wishes to be. No matter how hectic a scenario gets though, he always has a quippy one-liner ready to be expertly delivered by actor Yuri Lowenthal.
I really should have stretched.
Miles still gets his time in the spotlight however, and has some fantastic moments towards the end of the main campaign. Even if some of the more interesting explorations of his Puerto Rican
you know she gonna be his
American
love
culture
interest.
are reserved for side missions. Obviously, what you take from the story and its diverse cast of characters will be unique to you. On the surface, it's another thrilling superhero story packed full of surprises, cameos, and Easter eggs. But there are deeper meanings to be found here too.
Mr. Morales, is it? Are you sure this isn't something you can handle yourself?
I'm sure.
Spider-Man 2, and to an extent all great Spider-Man
Tight, eh?
stories, tackle themes of adolescence and puberty, a time of uncertainty for even the most normal of teenagers trying to control bodily fluids.
I gotta get better at fluid management.
We join Miles at this exact point in his life, with family ties straining, friendships facing new challenges, and life decisions of genuine importance being posed for the first time. Actor Najee Jeter displays all the range needed for the role, continuing to excel as a younger Spider-Man, maturing before our eyes.
Maybe one of those scholarships has my name on it.
For Peter, these themes manifest in a much more physical sense. He's in his early 20s, so has already navigated the difficult years that Miles finds himself in, but thanks to the symbiote suit, he's working his way through yet more bodily changes. This physical manifestation is also representative of mental health issues that have developed for each Spider-Man. Venom hangs over the main characters like a spectre of grief, drenching them in black as if in a state of mourning. The story does a great job at gently exploring these issues and how, when not healthily addressed, personal demons can eat at us and lead to people we care about being unintentionally caught in the crossfire of the anger and pain those feelings can produce.
That's
of
facts.
course, a hero is nothing without its villains, and Spider-Man's rogues gallery is almost unparalleled. Outside of the likes of Venom, Kraven and Lizard seen in the trailers, Insomniac has kept many more hidden up its sleeve. I won't even hint at any of these except to say that Spider-Man 2 opens with a bang, offering up a sense of scale not previously seen in the series. It's an adrenaline-fueled reintroduction that tests how well you remember the combat, as well as providing a few new tricks. It's also the start of one of the new side story villain threads that are optional, and while those don't offer anything overly new in terms of gameplay, they do add valuable extra scraps of story. Speaking of boss battles, that's one area that Spider-Man 2 takes a noticeable step up.
Hey, Doc. Ready for your annual physical?
There are evolving brawls packed full of danger that put all of your skills to the test. Dodges and parries are key, as well as using environmental tools dotted around the arenas for your benefit. The latter third of the campaign essentially becomes a boss rush mode that will put the sturdiest of thumbs to the test. Not necessarily because it ever gets too difficult, but because of the sheer number of times you'll be hammering that square button. These later stages are where the majority of Spider-Man 2's thrills lay, however, as it really hits its stride late on and emphatically wraps up a tale with miles of emotional depth that never once threatens to peter out.
Your dad used to give me that exact same look.
Despite what loftier ambitions the roughly 18-hour story may have, this is still unapologetically an old-school approach to open-world game design, and nowhere is this displayed more clearly than in its optional quests. To their credit, the way you can highlight side objectives by pressing the right stick is a welcome upgrade over mere icons on a map. This isn't a world that beckons exploration or discovery necessarily, but it is a step in the right direction toward creating greater immersion and mercifully less time spent looking at the map screen. That being said, I can't help
know there was like they did show that they have it where you can fast travel now in the in this Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. Like, bro, I am web slinging everywhere I go. I'm like, unless it's like, okay, so like, let's say for an example, I complete a level, but then I didn't save properly, then I'll probably end up fast traveling. Even then, I'm all like, bro, I just feel that of how dope the city looks, like, yeah, that I just no. I even if fast travel was introduced, then I think no, they did kind of have like a sense, but not like where you can pinpoint where you want to go and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't care for fast travel. Not as no Spider-Man, no.
I've hoped for a few more flashes of Gotham City to make their way into New York. Something like the spontaneous shock of Man-Bat jumping at you out of nowhere went a long way to making Rocksteady's superhero open world feel more reactive than what we get here. When you consider the evolution of open world game design that the Arkham series took over the course of the trilogy, it's a bit disappointing to see Insomniac's series stuck in time when it comes to its side content and the way it presents itself to you. Standard open world filler activities are here aplenty, and that's one area where Spider-Man 2 hasn't moved with the times or shown much ambition at all. Collectibles, photo opportunities and rather basic street crimes are still here, and despite having a few slightly more interesting quirks this time around, they only very occasionally excite. Granted, the additional enemy variety in play makes these activities take a little longer to get old than they did in the past, but this still isn't quite a strong enough twist to make prioritizing photographing these jabronis over saving a house full of people from a raging fire not seem ridiculous.
Whoa, guys, can we take this outside?
Well, a lot better than I think it was at the Which Spider-Man. I think it might have been the one that they had released. Did they release one on the Nintendo 64? I just remember they came out with a Spider-Man game years ago, and every time I was like, that side mission had made me so upset. But it was like it was just kind of like one of those like where a person's like, hey, help! There is this little girl that will always lose her balloon, and I'm like, fam, and then the amount of times I would try to go for it had me hot, bro, hot, and I'm like, yeah, these Spider-Mans, I'm loving it, because I'm all like, that girl, I'm telling you, if they have that in there, I will not, no. I'm all like, that girl, she is your balloon. You just gonna have to, I'm like, here's $1, go get you another one. But I know, I'm like, you ain't getting your balloon saved. Please, Insomniac, do not under any circumstances add that little girl back in the game. I know it was with like a different company, but I'm like, nah, bro. I do not want to deal with that girl again.
There are a couple of more involved questlines that are much more nourishing, almost to the point of being a series of mini main plot missions. My favourite was the Flame questline, which begins with simply helping out the fire brigade, but quickly spins a layered and mysterious web. It's full of twists, turns and surprises, like a great short comic book run that separates itself from the rest of Spider-Man 2's optional time trials and simple puzzle minigames. All of this contributes to fighting back against crime in each district of New York, a city now twice the size of what we've seen before. There are 14 unique districts, each with its own set of objectives to complete before you can unlock fast travel to that part of the map. Not making fast travel readily available is smart, and truthfully, I barely used it anyway, as swinging and gliding around the city is so much more fun. Gliding is especially great for crossing long distances thanks to the numerous wind tunnels that carve their way through New York's seamlessly endless grid of streets, flanked by Art Deco architecture and modern mirror-like skyscrapers. Of course, if you're going to be catching a reflection in that glass so often, you'll want to look your best.
Looking fresh.
Thanks. You too.
Fear not, there are dozens and dozens of suits to unlock, with myriad colourful skins to pick from on each of them.
I gotta get
from
that Purple
modern
Rain one.
interpretations of classics to return.
Hey, the cat returns.
There are treats waiting for Spider-Man fans of all generations. In keeping with Insomniac's track record, the music behind it all is stellar, with Miles and Peter's respective signature tunes playing depending on who you're controlling. A highlight though is the theme.
Because of like, I'm probably gonna have, if they do have a streamer mode, then that's what I'm gonna have to be playing as. I would like to hear what I should just do that, just go and play the game as it's, like for the streams and content and all that stuff, and then immediately after I'm done beating it for streaming, then go back, play it again, because I already know it's gonna be good. The amount of times I went back and played Miles Morales Spider-Man, I was like, I already know this one's gonna be good, so I'll probably end up doing that just so I could hear the music. They're like, oh, so that's what that scene was for. Okay.
Follows in Kraven's footsteps, which bears more than a passing resemblance to Howard Shore's Uruk-hai War March from the Lord of the Rings score.
Dang.
It soundtracks a world that looks stunning, even when played in performance mode at a very stable 60 FPS, as I did for almost all of my playthrough. In fact, Spider-Man 2 is a technical marvel as a whole. I can't say I noticed one drop frame in my dozens of hours of playing. This allows Spider-Man 2 to shine in its most jaw-dropping moments, of which the story offers many, as explosive action, sparkling electrical effects, and fittingly slimy symbiote gloop fill the screen.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like the reason why, because Insomniac, they know that they got a reputation to maintain, and if let's say they came out with Marvel Spider-Man, which was good, Miles Morales was amazing, and then they come out with this and then it's bad, a lot of people will be looking at Insomniac and be like, what are you guys doing? So I would be confused by that.
As a sequel in a spectacular series, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is both blessed and cursed. Its story of two Spider-Men is a great time and a Spidey fan's dream to play through as comic book pages are brought to life, elegantly walking the tightrope between light humour and heavier themes. Meanwhile, Insomniac refines a successful formula of combat and web swinging without revolutionising either in major ways, making them comfy and familiar with just enough new tweaks and abilities to elevate them to fun new heights.
Is all this just a game to him?
The part that feels like it actually needed a radical rethinking is the open world of New York City, which has been made bigger but not better, with an exhausting checklist of mostly repetitive side activities. But it's safe to call this another thrilling Spider-Man adventure that delivers Insomniac's best tale yet, and despite its open world falling short, it is a reliably fun superhero power trip. And you know what? Screw it. It really did make me feel like Spider-Man 2. For more open world game reviews, why not check out our review of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty or Assassin's Creed Mirage? And for everything else Spider-Man 2, stick with IGN.
That's actually a nice. Hold on. That was it? Okay. Yeah, so I was just thinking, I got this idea, right? for another Spider-Man game, even if it's like a side game or something. I think what they should do is like a online, I might have said this before, but I'm like, I know that's something that I would really like to see, where they have it where you can create your own Spider-Man, learn all the, like, you know, special like abilities, like just learn everything that like Miles Morales or Peter Parker would know. But yeah, it's like a kind of like a into the multiverse, and it's a like an online kind of like Destiny, for an example. And you could go out and do the missions by yourself, or you can team up with other Spider-Mans or women, and yeah, you know, go and just freaking just do whatever and stuff, you know, just whatever missions that they have, and then you have it where it's like you can be some crazy things on top of that, like maybe some missions that require people, but at least have it where it's like, you know, you can't play the game by yourself and things. But I think that would work. I think if they came out with like a Spider-Man like Destiny themed game, I think that would sell. All right, so there's something that I would like, you know, just to have it where there's more customizing, just add more to the like Insomniac series, but then just kind of, you know, having it where we tell our own story and stuff, and we get to, you know, just have more fun with the Spider-Man series. But anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to IGN for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.